Okay, we shall pick it up where we left it last time, looking at the subject of the fourth angel's message. Last time, this was our last quotation, where inspiration told us that when God descends to men, warnings so important that they are represented as proclaimed by whole angels flying in the midst of heaven, he requires every person endowed with reasoning powers to heed the message. And so today we shall start with who is the first angel and when was the message first proclaimed. We read in Great Controversy, page 386. To William Miller and his co-laborers, it was given to preach the warning in America. This country became the center of the Great Advent movement. It was here that the prophecy of the first angel's message had its most direct fulfillment. The writings of Miller and his associates were carried to distant lands, wherever missionaries had penetrated in all the world, were sent the glad tidings of Christ's speed return. Far and wide spread the message of the everlasting gospel. Fear God and give glory to Him, for the hour of His judgment is come. Dear friends, what are we seeing from here? To William Miller and his collaborators, it was here that the prophecy of the first angel's message had its most direct fulfillment. So we see the message of the first angel's message meeting its fulfillment through the preaching of William Miller. We can say in other words, William Miller and his collaborators fulfilled the prophecy of the first angel's message. They proclaimed this message for the first time. And this is the brother William Miller, denoted by the first angel's message, the message that he preached. And what was the message, friends? Fear God and give glory to Him, for the hour of His judgment is come. This pointed to 1844, the time when the judgment was about to begin in heaven. The time which was believed God was about to impose His judgment upon the earth to punish the wicked and save the righteous. And so this message was preached, dear friends. Going to the second angel's message, we read in Great Controversy, page 389. The second angel's message of Revelation 14 was first preached in the summer of 1844, and it then had a more direct application to the churches of the United States, where the warning of judgment had been most widely proclaimed and most generally rejected, and where the depression in the churches had been most rapid. But the message of the second angel did not reach its complete fulfillment in 1844. The churches then experienced a moral fall in consequence of their refusal of the light of the Advent message. But that fall was not complete. Beloved of my Father, what are we learning from this quote? We see that after the first angel's message was preached by William Miller, calling and warning people about the coming judgment to begin in 1844, that message was rejected. And actually, pastors in churches those days even started to refuse their members to listen to such a message. And so that rejection of the truth brought about the second angel's message saying Babylon is fallen. Now, who is Babylon? Babylon denotes a church that was once pure but which has backslidden. Remember, the Protestant churches, as they came out from the Catholic Church, they had a pure banner of the truth, but they later on apostatized against God, and they were called Babylon. And so what are we seeing? The same William Miller and his collaborators, after the first message was rejected, preached the second angel's message. But what are we seeing? The four of the churches was not complete in that year. So this text is yet to meet its final fulfillment that will culminate in the establishment of the mark of the beast constitution. At that point, then it shall be said that Babylon is completely foreign. Going on to the third angel's message. Enlightening Student 9. Nominal Adventists, those who united in sounding the second angel's message, but who rejected the third angel's message with its Sabbath truth, but nonetheless continued to espouse the Advent hope, are referred to by Mrs. White as the nominal Adventists, or those who reject the present truth. Also, different parties of professed Advent believers. In our early literature, these people were also referred to as the First-day Adventists. Now, I want to take note of something. Prior to 1844, the Sabbath truth was a forgotten truth. After it was removed in 509, and in 538, Papa's law was established in the church. So, during the whole lot of the Dark Ages, the Sabbath was trampled upon. And so, William Miller and his collaborators actually were not Sabbath keepers. And these are what are referred to as the First-day Adventists. They preached the first angels and the second angels, but failed to accept the third angel's message with its Sabbath truth. A very cardinal point to take note here. The third angel's message comes with the Sabbath truth, the restoration of the Sabbath truth. Only a few among the Adventists maintained their confidence in the fulfillment of prophecy in 1844, but those who did stepped forward into the third angel's message with its seventh-day Sabbath. Of the experience at that critical period, Ellen White later wrote. Now, friends, what we are seeing from here is the third angel's message. Actually, the Sabbath truth was restored back through the writings of Sister Ellen G. White. After many years of its extinct, to some extent, it was brought again to light through the writings of our late Sister Ellen G. White. What are we seeing, friends? Sister Ellen G. White stands out as the third angel's message, as the third angel messenger through which the Sabbath truth was restored back. And what are we seeing? When the Sabbath truth came, some failed to embrace that truth, and they remained in darkness up to now. But those who accepted the Sabbath truth stepped forward into the third angel's message with its seventh-day Sabbath. And the people that embraced the third angel's message were later on termed the Seventh-day Adventists. Dear friends, the Sabbath truth was not well welcomed when it came. Let us learn a lesson from this. Even among those that preached the second and the first angel's message, some failed to accept the Sabbath truth, and they were left in darkness. Only a few stepped forward into the third angel's message with its seventh-day Sabbath. And this is our late sister, Ellen G. White. Now here's a good summary. The first and second angel's message were given in 1843 and 1844, and we are now under the proclamation of the third. But all three of the messages are still to be proclaimed it is just as essential now as ever before that they shall be repeated to those who are seeking for the truth. By pen and voice, we are to sound the proclamation, showing their order and the application of the prophecies that brings us to the third angel's message. There cannot be a third without the first and second. Dear family, even as we conclude in this second part of the study, we have seen and established these facts, that the first angel and the second angel's message were first given in 1843 and 1844, and who preached it? It was William Miller and his collaborators. And the Sabbath truth is the major truth of the third angel that began to be preached through Ellen G. White, and people that accepted that truth are what were organized as the Seventh-day Adventists. We can end here for this part, dear friends. In our next part, we'll be looking at now, is there another angel to come apart from these three angels that have already come? May God literally bless you. Amen.